Talk with Stephen Donnelly again for a second. I seen this in the Irish Examiner today, and I found it very interesting. So this person Terry Fogey, I think I was saying that. So it's Poone. I don't know if she an NGO. I say she is an NGO. Somehow, and I think she is an advisor to Norma Foley. So, and again, I think Norma Foley. At the end of the day, I think she's just. I don't think she listens to advisors. I think she goes on a hellbounding herself. But yeah, Stephen Donnelly. So this person basically said to Stephen Donnelly, I assume she's an NGO, getting a huge salary at the end of the week by the taxpayer. But yeah, so she basically said to Stephen Donnelly, don't answer any questions, don't say anything. Really, just stay there and just don't say anything. And I would say, she's right. I really would say she's right. Because Stephen Donnelly, I'm sure people remember many things Stephen Donnelly has said. About being on a trampoline, your children more likely to get hurt and injured on a trampoline than going into school wearing face masks and the COVID-19 and everything like that. And he said that, and he said trampoline, then he car accidents, and you just like to yourself, whatever floats your boat. And then going on to OT, I never forget it. He went on to OT before the schools was supposed to open for 6 years, for leaving sort years and for other classes in national school. This is before the teachers' before it was announced by Norman Foley the day beforehand, the education bodies and everything like that. And he went on, and he said he didn't know. He didn't know, and him and Minister for out, and he didn't know if they were going to go back. He didn't know. He couldn't say. He quite literally didn't know. And for a minister, again, he's a high up member of the government. I wouldn't mind if he was a Wycombe Fire TD. You'd be like, that's fair enough. You really didn't know. But again, he's Minister for out, and he was like, I don't know. And again, he has such a thing in saying, I never heard such a man. Again, he's worse than Norma Foley saying school's so safe. Like, literally, Norma Foley's not. And then going around saying science now. She's going around talking about science. He's going around, he's literally saying every time I hear him, we're wrapping up the numbers, 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 wrapping up the numbers. That's literally, that's like, you might just get a stereo and start playing it there. And I don't know how. Like, I remember when he was on Stephen Fitz and Brown show, Stephen Downey show. I don't welcome Stephen Downey show. But I remember when he was on Fitz and Brown show, this is when he just left Social Democrats, which was, and I would say straight, as Fitz and Brown said it was a careerist move. Because if he co-founded party, the Social Democrats, he was co-founded, I wouldn't jump ship, and I'll tell you straight, I'd stick with the party I founded. I wouldn't leave, unless, if I was going to leave, I would be an independent. I'm sure people would agree, I wouldn't, as the same as, take for example, Cavan, the former Hillock to Cavan County, Shane P. O'Reilly. He left Fianna Fáil. It was a huge blow to Fianna Fáil. He left Fianna Fáil and is now an independent on Cavan County Council. So, he didn't want to join any other party. He went and be an independent after Fianna Fáil, just, as he said, Fianna Fáil's not the same, they're messed up. He didn't say technically messed up, but I'm sure you would agree that they're not in the best position. But again, Stephen Donnelly left the Social Democrats. He went on to Fitz and Brown, and Fitz and Brown literally tore him a new backside. Because Stephen Donnelly didn't know what to say. He had him arseways, and that's good journalism there. When he goes on to OT, you think he's going into crash behind it, because this very easy going. Like, again, with him saying, I don't know, like literally the time of the schools, I don't know. I don't, like, literally, I would love if Fitz and Brown was there. He literally would go through him. Like, Fitz and Brown had a great time going through politicians. That's just for example. Again, he was a good journalist. And there's not many like him in this country. And I wish there was. Because again, these ministers, because again, half of the TDs and everything like that wouldn't go on to the Fitz and Brown show. They wouldn't go on it. They wouldn't go on because they're that afraid about it. And Stephen Donnelly too. Niall Boylan wants to get you on his show. He's been asking you for the last 100 years. You haven't answered them. Particularly why? Because Niall Boylan will probably ask you some hard questions, and we don't want that. The NGOs don't like that. But again, don't answer anything, Stephen. Don't say anything, Stephen. We don't want you to say anything. Even though I'm sure people would agree that if half of the things he comes out with makes no sense, and he's just talking absolute garbage. He's a gone bean. I'm sure people would agree that he has to say something as Minister for Health. We don't pay him a normal, it's not even a normal, what am I trying to say? An outrageous huge salary, and then pay for his fence that went around his house. like, and then be like, just don't say anything. The taxpayer doesn't need to be informed of what's happening with the COVID vaccines. They don't need to be informed about this. They don't need to be informed about that. People who need cancer treatment, we don't need to tell them that, they're going to get their treatment, or they're going to die because they haven't got it. We don't need to tell them. And it's not what they're trying to say, because again, this is what they always think. It's all about COVID, COVID, COVID. Nothing to do with anything else. It's just COVID, COVID, COVID. But again, Stephen Donnelly, I don't know. I wouldn't even put him in charge of a bakery, to be honest with you. I wouldn't put him, again, I'm sure he put the bakery on fire, but I wouldn't put him in charge of a sweet shop in the middle of nowhere. I might as well be honest with you, even with no children around or nothing like that. I wouldn't put him in charge of it. I really wouldn't, because he'd probably end up leveling it to the ground or something like that, or eating all the sweets in the chocolate factory, in the sweet shop. But again, this is the thing. It's just like, I'm getting like King George the Fifth here. Like, I just can't speak, stuttering. Like, what? Like, I don't know what I like. I just don't know. I really just don't know. Again, such a time of national crisis, we have these people to turn to. Yes, it's a great country.